Okay, we'll see how well I can do this driving. But I want to get this out. That's what expression is. I want to talk about this, and it's just because I want to talk about it. That's it. Musing on repressed emotion, right? It's become a popular topic, and I am so grateful for that more and more we collectively are acknowledging and discussing and opening up about trapped emotions, things that we have not allowed ourselves to feel. And a lot of that talk has to do with grief. A lot of that talk has to do with anger. That's a big one. That's a huge one, especially for people-pleasing individuals. There is so much repressed anger, not just at other people, but I think primarily anger at ourselves. Anger at ourselves for doing things that were not in alignment, doing things that we didn't feel good about, that didn't feel true to us, being inauthentic. Anger at ourselves for being inauthentic. That type of thing. And I definitely have a lot of that. I'm more and more aware of it. And there are numerous occasions when I just suddenly feel angry. And it's clearly not related to anything that's happening in that moment. It is old emotion that's coming back around. And of course it's coming back around. It's going to. It has nowhere else to go. That trapped emotion, whatever we repress, it comes back. Because we haven't released it. It hasn't gone anywhere. It's still just stuck in there. And it's going to stay stuck in there, and it's going to keep coming back to the surface and giving us opportunities to release it until we finally do. And there's so much of it for many of us that we can't do it all at once. I imagine there are a lot of individuals like me who have this desire. They go, yes, I want to release this trapped emotion. How do I do it all now? How do I just dive into this wound and make it better? It's this perspective of, this is something I want to fix. This is something that's broken in me, and that's never gonna achieve the result that we're looking for, because it's not broken, it's not something to fix, it's just a part of our being, it's a part of our experience. There's nothing wrong with it. So first, acknowledging there's a desire to release trapped emotion, yes, but ultimately it's because it feels good. It feels good to do that. Yeah, there's an awareness that we feel healthier doing that, but again, what does feeling healthy mean? It means feeling good. That's what it is. Healthy, feeling healthy means feeling good. That's ultimately what's driving it. If we can tap into that awareness, that all of these practices that we're engaging in, the shadow work, the integration, the self-development, the personal growth, whatever it is you want to call it, it's to feel good. That's why we're doing it. And it can and should feel good all along the way. Even when it's feeling like other things. Even when it's feeling like anger, or grief, or frustration, or anxiety. Tapping into and deliberately allowing those emotions through feels good. There's empowerment in that. But none of that is even what I really want to talk about. What I'm really interested in is something that I was realizing for myself this morning, and that is, I think, the number one emotion that we tend to repress, and I'm not saying everybody everywhere, just in my experience, which is limited largely to Western society, so, take that with a grain of salt, but from my experience, I think the emotion that we repress the most is joy. Universally, the most repressed emotion, that which we have denied most fervently and deeply and most often within ourselves, is the feeling of joy. That's what we're not allowing ourselves to feel. It's still essentially taboo. In a lot of cases. We're afraid to feel good. We're afraid of our own pleasure. And again, that's not true for everybody, but it has been for me and for a lot of people that I have witnessed. Even people who are doing this work to tap into and to allow greater levels of joy into our experience. That's the thing that we've been cutting off, and it's our natural state. Joy is our natural state. That is our natural way of being. And we're denying it in ourselves. We've been conditioned, internally and externally, to shut down joy. For numerous reasons, for countless reasons. The brain will come up with 1,000,001 reasons to shut down joy. It's afraid of it, essentially. Because if you are in a state of joy, if you are just claiming your power and your peace and your pleasure, if you're just feeling good, the brain and the mind-made self, called ego, have no way to control you. The only way that ego can control you is if you're giving it permission. First of all, is if you're letting it, and you're only letting it if it's created the illusion. How do I even put this? The illusion that things can be wrong. The illusion that things can go wrong. And then once it's created that illusion, it creates a false path out of that. It says, look, everything is wrong, but I know the way. I know the way. I will lead you to safety. In order to have the desire to be led to safety, you have to feel that you are unsafe, right? So it creates the sensation of instability, insecurity, unsafety, so that it can create this false path into what it's telling you is safety. But it's never going to take you there because it doesn't want you to go there. It doesn't want you to actually feel safe. It wants you to keep following it forever.
In 1 mile,
oh, here's
keep left.
My GPS is talking. But that's essentially, I mean, that's what the mind does, and that is what mind-made society now does. Society doesn't want us to feel safe. If we felt safe and secure, there would be no way for us to be controlled.
In a quarter of a mile, keep left.
So of course, this manifestation of ego, that is society as it currently exists, is one that diminishes people at every turn. It's one that creates instability, that fosters the sensation of instability. Because it wants us to keep looking to it for guidance into stability, into safety and security. But again, it never wants us to actually get there. Because if we ever actually reach that point, we wouldn't need to follow rulership anymore. We wouldn't need to follow the voice in the mind and the external versions of that voice. We would have reached our destination. We would have realized our freedom, our safety, our well-being. And then what? Then leaders aren't needed anymore. We don't need a leader if we're not being led somewhere. So realizing that we are already at the destination, realizing that we're not going anywhere. There's nowhere we need to go. We don't need to get out of here to get to safety. Safety is here. We don't need to leave. We don't need to move. We don't need to change something to reach security and stability. It's here. It's now. Once we realize that, the voice of ego and the external voices of ego no longer have any power over us. And they don't want that. They don't want power to fall away. So inside and out, we have created a world, internally and externally, that is designed to defeat joy, to squash happiness, to prevent peace. And that has become the most deeply repressed experience of all. And the more we have repressed that, which is again our natural self, our natural state of being is joy, is peace, the more cut off from ourselves we've become. And it was always going to reach this point. It was always going to happen this way. Nothing has gone wrong. It was always going to reach this place where we have become so far removed from ourselves that we can't take it anymore. And we finally are pushed into saying enough is enough. I am sick and tired of this joyless, fearful existence, and I am realizing that there is only one way to change it, and that is making a change inside. There is only one person who can lead me out of this darkness, this fear, into the light, and that is me. And not this me, not the me that I think I am, the me that I am, the me that is, the me that persists, that is pure being, that is silent and still, and is knowing. I'm not leading myself anywhere. I am opening my eyes to the truth, the reality of the present moment, that all is well, all is as all should be, that I don't have anywhere to go. There is nothing I have to do. Nothing needs to change. My security, my stability, and my knowing of those things is present and available and accessible to me right now, and it's just up to me to claim them. That's it. That's all I gotta do. Is claim that, is get into my body. Because the body knows. The wisdom of the body is pure and true and absolute. And the brain covers it up. The brain wants to do everything it can to keep you out of the body. Because again, that's where your knowledge, that's where your power is. That's where your peace and pleasure is. So it's going to tell you to stay out, and it's going to try to keep you out. And it'll use every trick in the book, and it wrote all of them, to keep you out of there. But more and more of us are learning, are discovering, tapping into the body, into sensation, into being, really being, physically. The key to accessing the power of your spirit is embracing your physicality. This isn't new. This is well documented, well known by countless spiritual traditions. But it is the path. Your path to your kingdom of heaven is within you. Literally, physically, within your form. It's not about denying this form, it's about embracing it. This is spirit manifest. This isn't an accident. This is on purpose, and it's on purpose for the pleasure of it. We are here to enjoy sensation, to enjoy this life experience. And the more that we realize that, the more we are connecting to the rest of ourself. And the more the rest of that self, the wholeness of who we are, streams through and is able to be embodied. And that is what is merging dimensions. The most deeply repressed emotion is joy. It's time to expose joy, to unearth joy, to let it be unfettered, unchained, to tap into the joy that we have kept hidden within ourselves for eons. It's time for that to emerge, and big and bold and loud and unapologetically, to let ourselves be on full display, writhing, trembling in joy, visibly, publicly. There's so much shame around that. There is so much shame that's been instilled into us, again, by ego. about displaying our pleasure, our good feeling. It's time to release the chains of shame. It's time to let joy be known, to let it be exposed, to be on display. Let your pleasure be seen. Let it be witnessed. Let yourself be fully and feverishly delighted by all that is, by your being, by the being of all. That is the embodiment of self. That is being yourself. That is what self, soul, source, creator, spirit is experiencing at all times. The more pleasure that we are allowing ourselves to feel, the more joy that we are exposing and expressing, the more fully in alignment we are. The more fully that energy is flowing through us and manifesting physically. That's your purpose. Your purpose is joy. That's it, pure and simple. There's no rules around it. There's no stipulations. Let joy express through you. How much joy can you let yourself feel? How much joy can you express today? And then keep doubling it and doubling
In 1 mile, exit right. Trust me, you can't go wrong.
There you have it. I have dad jokes on. Because why not? Because my purpose and my goal and my entire intention is to experience and express joy. As much of it as I am capable of, and then to increase my capacity, my capability of calling it forth and setting it free, letting joy flow through me. That's it. That's it.
In 1/4 mile, exit right.
Yeah, that's all I have to say. Have a good fucking time. And let everybody know about it. I love you.